Good morning. It's morning time on the East Coast. Yang gang, let's do this thing. So this is my third video that I'll be making, and I guess once you start, you just keep going, which is exactly what this campaign stands for, or should be standing for. So thank you for all the comments in the comment section. The feedback is great, because it really helps cultivate the perspective. So I have a couple things to say after a couple of the comments, which are all positive. Everything is positive. I absolutely love the support. So first and foremost, someone in the comment section said the black community supports the status quo because we fought long and hard for what is there. And my question to that is, like, what is there? We still have racial disparities. We have Donald Trump. Okay, we all know Donald Trump is a racist, and I was one of the few people that said give him a chance, especially on the black side. I'm like, give him a chance. Let's see what he has to stand for. I know what is his resume, but everyone has an opportunity to change, and look what's there. You have more. I guess you could say just the racist undertones towards the black community has never been louder. The status quo is not okay. It's not a good place to be. What this country needs is healing, and going for Andrew Yang now, starting now. Start your support now. What I suggest is, if you have a friend or someone of color that needs to be supporting this candidate, you need to talk to them. It doesn't matter where you're from. I mean, say it respectfully, but you need to talk to them, because this is the person that is going to give them the salvation that they need, that they want, that we've been searching for. And I really mean that for everybody. Somebody else in the comment section stated that when the field shrinks to 2 or 3 candidates, that's when you'll see a lot more solidarity behind Andrew Yang. Which, all right, that sounds great on paper, but this is exactly what they want us to do. All right, they're trying to count us out. They want to scatter important demographics so that the status quo ends up coming out on top. You can't do that. Now is the time to support Andrew Yang. If you have some interest, you need to rethink about what these other people are offering. If you really think about here's the thing that bothers me the most. Now, a couple things. All right, one, Andrew Yang is not a one-trick pony, and I know I've been blabbing about UBI this, UBI that. That's great, but his other policies, if it was just UBI, I don't want to say I would be on the fence. It would definitely get me thinking. But Andrew Yang is not a one-trick pony. He's got over 100 policies, well thought out policies. Now, let's say you don't agree with 1, 2, 3, or 4. There's still 100+ policies that are gonna cultivate this country and make it a place to be, and something to be proud of. So, really think long and hard. Don't just get hung up on one policy. He's got a bunch. You can tell he's definitely been thinking about how to make this country a better place for the next generation. It's like Killer Mike said, this generation needs to be a steward for the next generation. We can't just squander the resources and the wealth here and now and not think about future generations. We need to set this thing up so that it's a perpetual environment of success. That's one. 2, the second thing that I want to talk about, and this is what really irks me, is how So a lot of people, and you hear it a lot on the mainstream media, a lot of these, I guess, talking heads, they'll say, oh, UBI is just a handout to people. And people are going to do bad things with it. They're going to do terrible things with it. Well, you know what? We've been giving a form of UBI out to big companies and big corporations in the form of subsidies. They get this every year. They line up at their congressman or government personnel. They know where to go to get subsidies, which is basically money in exchange for a promise to do something for the community or the government in the private sector. That almost never happens. All right, almost never happens. They promise jobs. They promise incentives for for people, and all it is a cover to just get money from the government. All right, that's UBI for big corporations. It's called subsidies or tax breaks. All right, so give me a break when you're saying that UBI is just a handout. Well, you know what we've been handing out to the super wealthy corporations. It's not right. It's not right. It's only a problem when it goes to the private sector. And you know what? I'm sorry, not the private sector. When it goes to people, that's when people have a problem. You know, when it comes to, and I hate to sound like, you know, a lot of other people with the same talking points. I'm trying to bring something unique, but people need to open up their eyes. All right, it's not okay. It's not okay to subsidize these companies that do nothing. They do nothing. You know, at the personal level or at the level of the people, if you were to give, people will spend money. People will spend money, and it will go back into the local businesses and into some online shopping, whatever the case might be. Some people might save and invest. It's definitely going to go back, because most people don't have the hoard of cash to just sit on money or squander it. People have to spend it. People have to spend it in their local communities, because, you know, most people are working with very little. So this is an opportunity to really, really, really have a trickle up economy. Think about it. Trickle up. Most people barely have $1,000 saved up. That's crazy to me. Most people barely have $1,000 saved up. I think the hardest part about saving is in the beginning, you know, especially when you have all these overhead expenses. You know, you constantly dip in the pot, you know, it's really hard when you are starting from nothing. But when you instill those habits and you're well on your way, it gets a little easier. But the beginning is really hard. A lot of people don't have the discipline. I don't even say the discipline. They don't have the funding to be able to put substantial amounts of money away. So they end up spending it a lot. So that's another reason why that UBI thing will work. But man, government subsidies is a UBI for corporate, and you know, I love how they frame these talking points, because it makes it look like they vilify things that they don't like or that they are threatened by, and you can't be threatened by it. My black brothers and sisters and my minority family, we need to think harder. All right, we need to think harder. This is the person that is truly trying to give power back to the people. All right, he's trying to give power back to the people. Right now, this government is run by big corporations. If you do not have money and or influence in the government, then you got nothing. All right, power back to the people is the most important thing that we can attain. It's the most important asset. And if you're not fighting for that, you're not really fighting for anything. And if the politician you support isn't advocating for that, then you're not fighting for anything.